Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making Galbitang. To start this dish, we need to boil 2.5 pounds of beef short ribs for about 10 minutes. We want to remove as many impurities as we can because we're aiming for a very clear broth. While the ribs are boiling, we're going to dress the rest of our ingredients for this little soup. So we need daikon radish, 1 medium onion, 4 scallions, 1 head of garlic, and a 3-inch knob of ginger. For the daikon radish, we're simply going to split this in half. If you can find Korean radish, that's even better, but if you can't, just use daikon. It's usually available in your grocery store. The onion, we're going to leave the peel on for the skin and simply cut this in half. We're going to do the same with the garlic, just cutting straight through the middle. And the ginger, we're going to chop into thick slices. For the scallions, we're simply going to cut these in half as well. And that's our prep pretty much done. Now, after 10 minutes, we're going to pull out our beef short ribs and give these a really good rinse. If you're smart, unlike me, use a very large pot, and you can just clean that same pot and reuse it. So to a large stock pot, we're going to add 15 cups of cold water, add back in our beef ribs and all of our vegetables that we just prepared. We're going to bring this up to a boil and let this boil away for about 5 minutes, skimming off any scum that rises to the top. But if you've done a good job parboiling your ribs, there shouldn't be a lot. After 5 minutes, we can lower this to a simmer, pop a lid on this, and let this simmer away for an hour. This is a really easy set and forget dish. After an hour, we're going to go back in and remove our daikon radish because we want this to have a little body left to it. So just pull these out and put them on your workbench to cool off. If you're using Korean radish, you can leave this in the entire cooking time. It's a little thicker. After all your radish is removed, pop the lid back on and let that go for another hour. For our garnish, we're going to slice up a little scallion, both the white and the green part, and we're going to chop our radish into large chunks, set this aside until we're ready to add it to our soup. I'm also prepping a little rice noodle here. Use whatever noodles you have, and this is optional, and just cook them according to your package directions. I usually do it a little under because it's going to sit in the hot soup and I don't want these to get mushy. So after 2 hours, we can start pulling out all of our vegetables. They've done their job, just flavored our broth. And you can also strain this out if you want a clearer broth. Then we are going to season with a little salt, a little fish sauce, and a little soy sauce. And this is according to your taste, to your palate. We don't want to add a lot of soy sauce because we want this to be a nice light broth. I ended up using about a teaspoon of kosher salt, a tablespoon each of fish sauce and soy sauce, giving this taste for seasoning. And this is tasting great. So we're going to plate in our dulset here, or any large bowl that you have. We're going to lay down a nice serving of our noodles, if you're using them. Add in our radish, as much or as little as you prefer. Layering on our short ribs. And then ladling over our broth. Now you are going to have a lot of broth left. I had about 2 quarts left over, so I just put them in airtight containers, pop them in the freezer. I'll use them for soup later. Lastly, we are going to garnish with a little scallion, and this is looking delicious. And I do recommend serving with some kimchi and a plate of salt and pepper. Now let's go ahead and give this a taste. You can see how tender and fall off the bone this meat is. First, I just want to taste the beef on its own. Taking a nice little chunk, dipping it in the salt and pepper. It's super tender. This dish is really all about the beef and the radish. This isn't super spicy. This is a very mellow, subtle flavor. The broth itself has this touch of onion and ginger and garlic, but again, we're not going super spicy here. Now let's make the perfect bite. A little short rib, a little daikon radish, and a little kimchi. Absolutely perfect. But there it is, a galbitang. I hope you all try to make this in your home. It's a perfect little soup for these colder autumn days. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you loved it, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell because I put out new videos every Thursday. Thank you again, and until next time, happy cooking.